I'm Adam and this is Reel Rivalries, the show where we pit two movies head to head and let you decide the winner. From touchstone classics like Supergirl and Elektra to champagne cinema such as Catwoman, it was very clear that Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel had their work cut out for them. Sarcasm aside, today I'll be covering these films' characters, stories, superpowers, and the assembly. Let's get on with it, shall we? Gal Gadot is the real deal here as Wonder Woman. Brains, beauty, legs that run for days, a voice that only Zeus could produce. She is truly a wondrous woman. Chris pines for her as Steve Trevor. He's an honorable, self-described above-average man. Princess Diana is not the only Amazonian warrior in this picture to steal some scenery. Connie Nielsen plays her mother, Hippolyta. Raw deal on the name, but she's as fierce as they come. Antiope, the badass warrior instructor, is played by Robin. If it's wrong to love a fictional comic book character, I don't want to be right. It's a long walk to get to that pun. I don't think it was worth it either. Well, let's move on. Professor Lupin is once again using transfiguration, but this time he takes the form of Ares, the god of war and bad mustaches. On the Marvel side of things, we have YouTube sensation Brie Larson. Larson has no problem handling the role as Verse, aka Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, but to be fair, there's very little role to work with. I look forward to her getting better material down the road. Samuel L. Jackson is a sight to behold as a two-eyed Nick, bringing the fury in a buddy cop role with Agent Coulson. It's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. Goose the cat may look cute and harmless at first, until later revealing its true form as an alien creature called a flurkin. Ben Mendelsohn cracks jokes, Jude Law misleads, and Annette Bening helps ruin a Nirvana song. So there's a little something for everyone here. Remember how lame and somewhat annoying Steve Trevor's band of brothers were? A sniper who can't snipe, a piper who can't pipe. I made the second thing up, but the first still stands. I hated the sniper. Couldn't stand him. At least I remembered him though. Captain Marvel has a whole squad of forgettables who have the audacity to walk at the camera in slow motion. You didn't earn that slow-mo walk yet. You didn't earn it. Captain Marvel has some great talent, but its goose is cooked when compared to the Amazonians. Wonder Woman gets the win here. Man is not perfect. We've pillaged, we've plundered, we've left the toilet seat up when being asked repeatedly to keep it down. Zeus saw the writing on the sky and decided to hide a secret paradise of women from the rest of the world. A place of love, kindness, and hardcore training. Living amongst them is a secret weapon. A young woman who will learn in time that she's more than just your typical everyday run-of-the-mill intelligent bombshell Amazonian warrior. Before she can unlock her true potential, an American spy crash lands in the waters below. Her mom tells her not to get involved, but Diana doesn't listen, because parents are the worst. Together, she and Steve will uncover the god Ares' evil plan to manipulate men into battle against one another. He's hiding in plain sight as a politician, gumming up the works for peace treaties to take place. Steve and Diana will take on the German army, Dr. Poison, the god of war, and still have time for a fun Pretty Woman montage. In the end, Steve tries to replicate Captain America's heroic self-sacrifice and actually succeeds. Congratulations, Steve. You played yourself. Diana levels up too and takes down Ares in epic fashion. It would seem like taking on the god of war would be about as challenging as something could get, but I suppose fighting a cheetah woman in the sequel is of equal challenge, right? I don't know. After 20 minutes of essentially nothing, Carol Danvers crash lands inside a Blockbuster Video and luckily avoids paying that late fee on the rental. That's how they get you. She's on a mission to hunt down a shape-shifting alien race and Skrull them into oblivion. Along the way, she discovers more than she bargained for as her earthly memories start coming back. Mostly of herself falling down and getting back up a lot, but it's a start. Where did these special abilities come from though, you might be asking? A Kree by the name of Mar-Vell, not to be confused with Marvel, it's quite on the nose, secretly built a light-speed engine which harnesses the power of the Tesseract on Earth. The Kree want the tech, but it ends up getting destroyed by Carol Danvers back in 1989. She sacrifices herself so the engine doesn't fall into the wrong hands, and her body, like all bodies do, absorbs the explosion, giving her immense powers. The powers are really indescribable, because the film never describes them. The Skrull aren't the only things that can change appearance as the final plot twist takes shape. It turns out Jude Law wasn't just a mercenary Kree. Nah, he was a mercenary creep. The whole thing caps off with Carol crushing ships and breaking hearts as she flies off to her next movie and avoids 30 years of MCU plot advancements. This story twists and turns, weaving in and out of flashbacks without providing enough incentive for me to get on board with the lead. It's an easy win in my book for Wonder Woman. It's a book I keep on the shelf over there, you can't see it. Wonder Woman was created by the father of gods and ruler of the sky himself, Zeus. This was me creating. Princess Diana gets stronger as the film progresses, much like in a video game. As a child, she has all the fixings of a great warrior, but after years of intense training, it becomes clear she has more powers yet to be discovered. How about the power of flight? That doing anything for you? She doesn't actually go full Superman here, but it's teased. And that was a Tenacious D reference earlier for the one of you that knew that. Her weapons include the Sword of Athena, a tasteful looking shield, and bulletproof bracelets. Say that 5 times fast. She also has a nifty lasso of truth that can make an honest man out of anyone. The weapons almost seem overkill though, as she has incredible strength, super speed, and I believe demigod status. It would seem Diana doesn't have a kryptonite or real weakness in the film, outside of a broken heart that is, and the same can be said for Captain Marvel. Besides the broken heart thing. Carol Danvers is, I believe, both human and Kree. A hybrid of sorts, as she spent many years with both races. She has extensive training from both as well, so she was already a pretty tough cookie going into this. That was before a literal blast from the past gives her a space stone's worth of abilities. She has the power of flight, can breathe outside the atmosphere, shoot energy blasts from her hands, and is impervious to harm. In fact, she can turn her whole body into energy and just fly right through stuff. Begging the question, why not just always do that? The movie never really shows us if she becomes tired or has a drain of energy after a while, so it would seem there are no consequences to going Super Saiyan whenever she wants. Since both these characters are seemingly indestructible, it's hard to get worried about them surviving a battle. Instead, we have to look at the vulnerable people around them and how they react. Smashing and blasting stuff can only keep my attention for so long before I start to check out. Wonder Woman provides that extra layer of emotion required to stay invested, thanks to a solid dynamic between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. It's another win for the princess. Wonder Woman, if that wasn't clear. I like the idea of Captain Marvel taking place in the 90s. It's a nice change of pace from the other MCU properties. Directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck sprinkle in some nostalgia from that generation without going overboard. The de-aging effects, which were a combination of makeup and CG, are pretty well done, especially on Nick Fury. We get to see a few different planets on this adventure too, with the Kree home being the trippiest of the offerings. The action is the most inconsistent piece for me. The train chase feels very dated with pretty poor green screen work. Punching an old lady in the face, however, was the highlight of the film. By contrast, the space battle at the end is very slick and polished. The theme has a stoic, kind of generic vibe with some pop culture hits coming and going throughout the picture. Look, I celebrate No Doubt's entire catalog, and Tragic Kingdom is a top shelf album, but just throwing in I'm Just a Girl willy-nilly in the middle of a fight? No, that's disingenuous, I won't have it. Patty Jenkins really stuck the landing with the look of Wonder Woman. The World War I setting was the perfect backdrop to see the Amazonian in action. The picture does a good job emulating the Snyder color palette, which is noticeably much richer than the often flat-looking MCU films. While there are no other planets to visit here, Themyscira more than makes up for it. The lush islands look amazing and serve as an intense contrast to the war going on right outside the boundaries. Jenkins directs the action in a visceral, confident way. There is an appropriate amount of shaky cam along with the crisp slow motion shots that really give the viewer a sense of the power Diana exudes. The final fight gets a bit out of hand, but her no man's land walk, a battle with the tank, and the initial attack at her home more than make up for it. The music here is just as strong. Rupert Gregson-Williams composes a very action-heavy soundtrack with a fantasy theme woven in. A variant of the Hans Zimmer Junkie XL theme from Batman v Superman can also be heard throughout the picture. This is again a very easy win for Wonder Woman. I can't imagine many people arguing Captain Marvel's the better of these two, but it's always fun to debate the pros and cons. Captain Marvel should have been much better considering how far into the MCU things were. It felt formulaic and kind of stale all around. Wonder Woman knew exactly the type of film it wanted to be and went all in with the execution. I'd love to hear from you now. Leave a comment with your winner and why, and I'll see you next time on another Reel Rivalries. Thanks for watching The Rivalry. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and comment with your episode winner. If you're a fan of movie debates, feel free to subscribe to Screen Rant for more Reel Rivalries and much, much more.